So we've all heard this song.
No more parties in LA, please baby, no more parties in LA,
But who is the man behind this beat? Madlib is one of the best sample-based hip-hop producers of all time. Even Kanye West and The Alchemist say this about him.
You have to get like some more Madlib beats for the next, next projects.
Madlib would absolutely destroy it. Are you crazy? He's in another position, planet on his own. He's his own genre.
He's a music producer with such a distinct sound. And today, let me show you the techniques that Madlib uses in his beats. The first thing you need to know about Madlib is he is mainly a sample-based producer.
A lot of people accuse me for looping, but my name is Loop Digger. I grew up on RZA, Prince Paul. That's what hip-hop's based on, if you know your history, from the old school.
So first, we need to find a sample. Inspired by his production for MF Doom, I went to Tracklib and looked in the MF Doom collection, and I found this jazzy psychedelic sample.
The music play.
From here, I found this 8-bar looped section, and to give it that gritty Madlib feel, I added this vinyl texture. Adding vinyl textures and other mechanical textures is a great way to grit up your samples if they are not vintage. Due to the computer limitations in this period, Madlib would probably often sample live drum breaks.
Can I have your attention, please?
I sampled this one from Tracklib. And added one-shot drums from the Scorpio drum kit. To these drums, I EQ'd out the high end. This allows the drums to still have that punch while sitting in the background. I followed the bass line in the sample with this bass plugin to give the beat a little more low end. For the hook, I sampled this other section of the sample. Madlib often samples multiple sections of a song in his beats.
They told me to borrow the car and he got it shot up. Now I know that this bitch mad.
The hook section gives the beat a really weird time signature. I then just followed the bass line of the sample. And chopped this transition in order to get back to the verse. I then found this other section of the track and sampled it for the intro, just to truly get the most out of the sample. For beat 2, I wanted to make something darker. Again, using Tracklib, I found this dark cinematic sample. One of Madlib's main inspiration in how he picks his samples is by filtering the years. So I refined the years in order to find this sample. I chopped the beginning of this sample, sped it up, and added effects, creating this interesting 4-bar loop. Again, I added tons of grit to the sample with this texture. One of Madlib's favorite producers was the legendary J Dilla. In this beat, I kept the drums largely unquantized with a distinct swing to them. This was a technique created by J Dilla and used heavily by Madlib.
Whereas this part is normal. It sounded like the kick drum was played by like a drunk 3-year-old. Now I gotta undo all the education and all the hours of preparation that I did. I gotta undo that.
This bass guitar then follows the root notes of the samples yet again. And the way I kept this beat interesting was adding sound effects throughout, including this siren sound effect from the Scorpio drum kit. This monologue from Tracklib, which gives the beat a really eerie, sinister feeling.
Soon the festivities are over. The children are tired, and it is time for bed. The room is empty and in darkness, lit only by moonlight from outside. The
and even more textural sound effects. Madlib often uses arrangement techniques in order to keep the beat interesting, and here are some examples of how I did this here. And for the last beat, I was inspired by No More Parties in LA by Kanye West, and also his work with Freddie Gibbs. I found this soul sample in which I chopped a verse and a chorus section, again using multiple parts of one track. I pitched and sped these sections up, and of course added the textures underneath. Today's video is sponsored by Tracklib. Tracklib is an online record store featuring over 100,000 previously released records. This is constantly being updated with new samples. Tracklib now offers unlimited sample clearance. If you are subscribed to Tracklib, you can now clear as many samples as you want without any extra fees, proving why Tracklib is by far the best site for sampling. As you can see from this video, it makes it super easy to find samples in a specific style you want. You can use the genres or one of the many collections to refine the style of track you are looking for. The link in the description will get you a 3-day free trial and 30 free credits to go and download your samples. Go check that out after this video and let's get back into it. Again, I used the raw style boom bap drums with the EQ, still allowing them to punch, and the bass line is yet again so simple, just following the root notes. I used this specific sample chop to then transition to the chorus, which now features hi-hats and a new bass pattern. And again, I chopped the chorus sample to get back to the verse. Then added further textures and pitched the sample for the outro. Through these beats, we see similar themes. Madlib uses the sample chops as the focal point of the beats. Gritty textures are added over the samples. The drums are often simple boom bap style with a swing to them. The bass lines are simple and the arrangements are super creative. Madlib's main aim is for the artist to be able to tell a story over his beats, which is why the production is often simple. Madlib also gives every producer a great lesson through this quote.
We just try to create good music, you know. I don't try to do music to be the best. I just try to make good music that I would sit and listen to. We don't overthink things, we just record.
Just record. Yeah. Why don't you like to listen to your own music? Is it just being too critical of yourself?
No, I just do stuff and move on.
Really?
Just keep moving. Yeah.
In a time where perfectionism and comparing yourself to others is at an all-time high, let's create for the sake of creating.